Welcome to the news at 6. Over the past 12 months, a team of prosecutors and agencies found more than $7 million in fraud in Idaho from COVID relief programs. Today, News Channel 7's Jude Binkley talked with the U.S. Attorney for the District of Idaho about the COVID fraud task force. And Jude, their goal is to find and stop this kind of fraud.
It absolutely is, Morgan. This task force was formed with 11 federal agencies and prosecutors to dig into the multiple examples of fraud from COVID relief programs they had been seeing. And U.S. Attorney Josh Hurwitz says they're not done yet. 1 year ago, U.S. Attorney for Idaho Josh Hurwitz announced the creation of Idaho's COVID fraud task force to investigate cases of fraud from COVID relief programs.
To do it in a structured way to make sure that we can make a real impact and recoup what amounts to stolen taxpayer money.
11 different agencies make up the task force. Hurwitz says they want to hold people accountable for illegally taking advantage of resources meant to help people going through tough times.
And for people to take advantage of really the pain that so many Americans went through and take advantage of that to line their pockets with ill-gotten gains and stolen taxpayer money is not only wrong and illegal, it's really offensive. And so for us to be able to tackle this problem and hold those people accountable and then also recover the stolen money from these relief programs to pay back ultimately the taxpayers.
Over its first year, the task force has criminally charged 12 people and gotten civil judgments against 3 people.
Overall, about $7 million identified that ultimately will come back to the taxpayers.
One example of a case the task force investigated is Lawrence Sakutwa from Boise. According to court documents, he applied for 3 PPP loans using falsified business information.
But the total amount that he was seeking was about $350,000 for businesses that he just made up out of whole cloth and didn't exist. So he's been sentenced as of earlier this week to 30 months in prison.
And Hurwitz says the task force is just getting started.
I think this task force is going to be going on for many years, and I expect that we'll be indicting and resolving similar number of cases, at least this year, if you look at 2024, and probably for several years thereafter.
And Hurwitz says they've seen many different relief programs get taken advantage of, like PPP, but Morgan, also economic impact loans, unemployment insurance, and even a farming program.
It's so frustrating when you have these bad actors and these programs were intended for good to help people in a really challenging time. So Jude, thank you for staying on top of this story for us.